The annual Thompson family reunion was in full swing at Cousin Brad's luxury waterfront home, a modest four-bedroom that happened to have a small dock. I sat by the pool, monitoring shipping routes on my phone while enduring the usual parade of family success stories. "Emily just bought another boat," Aunt Susan announced, gesturing with her mimosa. "A 40-footer. And Brad's getting a jet ski. When are you going to join the nautical club, Jessica?" I glanced at my marine tracking app, watching my fleet's positions update in real time. "I get seasick," I said mildly. "At 32? Cousin Emily adjusted her designer sunglasses. "Even a small sailboat would be better than nothing. I could show you some starter boats." "Still working on those cargo ships?" Uncle Tom chimed in. "What's that pay? $60,000 a year. That won't even cover marina fees." I took a sip of water, thinking about my actual job, CEO of the largest private yacht and shipping company in the Pacific. Around that, yes. My phone buzzed. Another acquisition complete. A 200-foot superyacht added to my charter fleet, bringing the total to 45 vessels. "Real boating is about luxury," Brad lectured, pointing at his 25-foot bow rider. "This baby cost me $150,000. "Fascinating," I murmured, checking my latest purchase. A $300 million custom mega-yacht nearing completion in the Netherlands. "Hey Jessica," Brad called out with a smirk. "Since you're so familiar with boats, maybe you could clean the pool? It's basically the same thing, right?" Everyone laughed. My phone lit up with a message from the harbor master. "Ma'am, your new 300-foot yacht has arrived. Crew awaiting your instructions." I stood up slowly, retrieving my captain's hat from my bag. "Shli, I should go. My boat just arrived." "Your boat?" Emily's perfectly maintained eyebrows rose. I pulled up the live feed from the harbor on my phone. "You can see it from here, actually. The big one. Past Brad's. What would you call that?" "A dinghy." The laughter died as everyone turned toward the harbor, where my gleaming superyacht towered over every other vessel in sight. "That's yours." Aunt Susan's mimosa froze halfway to her lips. I adjusted my captain's hat. "One of them. The small one, actually. Should we take a closer look?" The sound of Brad's poolside beer hitting the concrete echoed across the suddenly very quiet backyard. "This is impossible," Emily sputtered, her 40-footer suddenly looking like a rubber duck. "You work in cargo shipping." I slipped on my designer sunglasses, enjoying the collective jaw drop. "I own cargo shipping. And yacht manufacturing. And the largest private charter fleet in the Pacific." "That entry-level job you mocked?" "I was buying the company." My phone continued its steady stream of notifications. Monaco fleet expansion. 5 yachts acquired. Mediterranean charter revenue. $50 million this quarter. Dubai royal family booking confirmed. $2 million per week. But where did you get the money?" Brad stammered, still staring at my yacht dominating his harbor view. "Remember my boring software project?" I pulled up my company details. I developed an AI system that revolutionized maritime logistics and luxury yacht operations. Every billionaire with a boat wanted it. So I started buying their boats. Emily's carefully applied waterproof mascara began to run. "So when I was bragging about my new 40-foot Sea Ray, I had just taken delivery of a 150-foot fed ship," I confirmed. "Through Shell Company B. Just like I own the marina where Brad docks his vessel. The slip fees are due next week, by the way." Uncle Tom collapsed into his deck chair, which had a perfect view of my floating palace. "Your cargo job," he muttered, "is the public face of a $3 billion maritime empire," I completed, pulling up my fleet manifest. "I own 30% of the luxury yachts in the Pacific, including that exclusive charter boat you bragged about using last summer." My assistant's message flashed. "Forbes requests interview, the silent queen of the seas, how AI transformed yachting." "While you were all bragging about your boats," I continued, "I was quietly building the largest private yacht fleet in the world. That marina membership you complained about? I set those rates. The slow fuel service? I'm upgrading the docks next month." Aunt Susan's hands shook as she poured another mimosa. "Why didn't you tell us? Would you have believed me?" I asked, displaying my company's growth charts. Or would you have kept lecturing me about starter boats and entry-level positions? The numbers told their own story. Asterisk yachts owned, 45. Asterisk total fleet value, $3.5 billion. Asterisk annual charter revenue, $500 million. Asterisk ports of operation, 25. That software you mocked as my boat tracking hobby? I pulled up its performance metrics. It now manages half the world's luxury yacht operations. Billionaires pay millions just to access it. Brad's face had lost its usual smugness. The pool cleaning. Speaking of cleaning, I smiled, checking my watch. My crew should be arriving any minute to pick me up. In my helicopter. The yacht's helipad is a bit far to swim to. My phone lit up again. Saudi prince requests meeting custom mega-yacht build opportunity. Now, I said, hearing the distinct whir of rotor blades, I have an empire to run. And Brad, about that jet ski you're planning to buy, I own the dealership. Expect a call about your financing application. 6 months later, I hosted the family reunion on my flagship vessel, the 400-foot Algorithm Queen, a floating palace of steel and glass that made Brad's house look like a beach shack. From the top-deck infinity pool, I could see my fleet of superyachts dotting the harbor like glittering jewels. Ms. Thompson, my chief steward, approached. The Mediterranean acquisition is complete. Caribbean fleet expansion on schedule. And your family has arrived at the marina. All of them. Yes. Cousin Emily tried to use her yacht club status to access the private dock. I smiled, watching them on the security feed, clustered at the marina like tourists. Gone were the boating casual outfits and nautical swagger. Amazing what 6 months of realizing your boat was actually a bathtub toy could do. Send the tender, I said, activating the yacht's full display mode. Every window became a smart surface, showing real-time data from my maritime empire. They arrived on deck tentatively, eyes wide at the true scope of my success. Welcome aboard my starter boat, I said as holographic fleet data floated around us. Quite an upgrade from cargo ships, isn't it? My phone buzzed continuously. Asterisk Mediterranean yacht fleet. $1 billion expansion approved. Asterisk Singapore marina acquisition closing $400 million. Asterisk Rob report cover story. The Algorithm Queen rules the seas. Your marina memberships are up for renewal, I mentioned casually. The fees will reflect our recent upgrades. About that, Brad cleared his throat. My dock slip is being converted to superyacht berthing, I finished. The Saudi royals requested more space. Your lease expires next month, by the way. Emily clutched her boat listings, now worthless since I controlled most of the luxury vessel market. We've been looking at other marinas. Which ones? I pulled up my ownership map. The coastline glowed with my properties, stretching like a maritime empire. Newport? Miami? Also mine. That charming Mediterranean port you were considering? Just bought it this morning. Aunt Susan stepped forward, but the confidence she once carried like a weapon had vanished entirely. Her voice trembled with something she'd never shown me before, regret. Jessica, she said quietly, we were wrong about you. I didn't bother softening my expression. Obviously, I replied, tapping my tablet to bring up the latest executive dashboard. The holographic projection appeared behind me, towering over the marina. While you were busy showing off your bow riders and posting photos of champagne cruises, I was developing an algorithm that redefined maritime luxury. The same one you all laughed at over Thanksgiving dinner? It's now worth more than every single boat in this harbor combined. Their eyes widened as the stats flickered across the screen in bold silver letters. Global fleet, 118 vessels. Portfolio value, $15.2 billion. Annual revenue, $3.1 billion. AI licensing revenue, $1.04 billion. I turned slowly, letting them read every number. Remember when you told me to start small? When you said I should maybe try a single charter boat and see if it works? I wasn't starting small. I was building an armada. One yacht at a time. Behind us, the sun caught the steel and glass of my flagship yacht, Sovereign, and sent a ripple of light across the water. The marina fell silent. My assistant approached with a secured tablet. Miss Talbot? The delegation from Al-Noor Investments is on standby. They're prepared to discuss the $5 billion fleet expansion. Their private jet lands in 30 minutes. I nodded, then glanced back at my family. Speaking of expansion, those luxury boats you're so proud of? They're being added to my platform next month. The charter rates and usage policies will be handled by my AI. You'll receive priority access, of course. I paused, letting a smile touch my lips. After the billionaires. Uncle Tom's face drained of color. Sea charter platform? AI-managed yacht sharing, I explained calmly. Predictive usage scheduling, dynamic pricing, onboard analytics. It's already redefining how the ultra-wealthy experience the sea. My phone vibrated. I glanced at the screen. Fortune magazine. Entrepreneur of the Year, the woman who digitized the seas. I held the phone where they could see it, then slipped it into my blazer as if it were merely another routine update. Anyway, I have a global fleet to run. Your marina contracts are already waiting for you in the main salon. The terms are, of course, non-negotiable. Jessica. Aunt Susan called after me, her tone cautious, almost pleading. About next year's reunion? It'll be here. Again. I didn't slow my pace. Assuming you can still afford to keep your boats in my marinas. If not, I shrugged. I hear there are some nice lakes further inland, outside my territory. For now. The helicopter blades began to turn, the wind pulling at everyone's hair and jackets. I paused at the top of the helipad stairs, looking down over them one last time. Oh, and Brad, I added, spotting my cousin hiding behind Aunt Susan. About that time you told me to clean the pool because it was the only thing I was qualified to handle? I gestured to Sovereign behind me. I have 7 pools on this yacht alone. My crew of 50 maintains them daily. They'd be happy to give you a lesson. Brad looked like he wanted the ground to swallow him whole. The sunset bled gold and orange across the horizon, and the light glittered across my fleet. A seamless line of vessels stretching into the distance, each one a testament to the empire I'd built while they sneered behind cocktail glasses. They once considered me the seasick girl who didn't understand real luxury. Now they stood hopelessly adrift in a world I controlled. Success, much like maritime navigation, is about knowing the tides and trusting your own course. And I owned every ocean worth sailing.